The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is losing a record number of its membership.
We shall now be pleased to hear from Ronald E. Pullman of the First Quorum of the 70.
My remarks this morning are directed primarily to those of you who have accepted the gospel and are members of the church, and to those of you who may be seriously contemplating such acceptance and membership. Both the gospel of Jesus Christ and the church of Jesus Christ are true and divine. However, there is a distinction between them which is significant, and it is very important that this distinction be understood. And there is an essential relationship between them that is significant and very important.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, YouTube has replied to the counter argument against my brother and has sided with me. Obviously, I quoted the law. So if you missed the other videos, why? Am I not popular? Am I not exciting and interesting? Doesn't my voice soothe you into excitement? My brother Todd is publicly known as working for the church's membership department. His LinkedIn page lists that as his job. And so as a public figure, and as his brother, I can talk about him when it suits my purpose to teach a moral lesson for you on my YouTube channel, a religious moral lesson. And criticizing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for their immorality is a big part of that. And so when the news covered missing membership and membership records being hacked, it's an easy connection to make. My brother is involved with it. And so I did the videos covering about it. And because I'm his brother, I've got exclusive in to cover the stories that the regular news doesn't have access to, because they don't do investigative journalism with the church. They're scared. They don't dare to molest or make the church afraid. I do. And so, yeah, YouTube has agreed that I do not violate the privacy rights of my brother in covering these issues, which was a no-brainer. But I was testing to find out, is it my brother who complained, or was it somebody else seeking to cause problems with my channel? And so I got confirmation this morning, which was actually late at night, last night. It is my brother. And so I get to do another video about him. So the first one was at 9:16 p.m. and he lives here in Utah also, just so that you know the time zone differences with me. And I will not be responding. I do not want a conversation with him because he is so frustrating mentally. And should I give background on that as to why that is? I'm the oldest child in the family, and Todd was born next we were both born in Berkeley, California, as my dad was going to Berkeley, getting a master's in business management, something like that. And after graduation, he took us to Michigan because the Ford Motor Company had some job openings in their accounting department. Something to do about a Pinto. A scandal. And that was covered in a movie, I found out. I owe my move to Michigan to that reporter who covered the story about the scandal with the Ford Motor Company. So I thought that was interesting. But when my brother was born, he had colic. And so my mom had to take care of him 24/7. And so it was necessary to sit me in front of the TV to be educated by Ernie and Bert. And they weren't gay back then. They were just normal puppets. And so what we had found out later on is that when we had moved to Placentia, California, I remember my mom ordering me to go outside and play catch with my brother. And I lobbed the ball to him, and it hit him in the nose. And it was weird. You know, you see these things on TV about little kids getting smacked in the face and they fall down and you laugh and ha ha ha. In fact, I just saw Instant Family last night or yesterday, and the boy gets hit. Yeah, so perfect timing for the two events here, two videos. And later on in life, we found out that he was unable to see three-dimensionally. He can only see two-dimensionally. So the ball, he didn't know and recognize that it was coming towards him. It's just one of those vision problems that few people have. And as a result of this sight disability, he didn't get into sports like I did. And instead, he spent his time memorizing the dictionary, the encyclopedia, and getting into his memorization for school with all the textbooks and all that stuff. And so he graduated with high honors, was valedictorian in high school, was valedictorian at BYU. And as I've mentioned before, memorization does not equal smart. It just means you've memorized information. You don't know what it means or how to apply the information. And yet that our whole school system is based upon the memorization method of learning. And so, yes, we've got a whole nation of dummies. You know, it's great that you know the Jeopardy questions. You can win lots of money, I guess, if you're on the show, but it doesn't make you smart. And we see this in the church that has also been using that same tactic to indoctrinate Mormons with misinformation. They give us manuals, they give us the footnotes, and they speak at conference and at church with those kinds of lessons for Sunday school that are repetitive, and we're expected to memorize those. You go through seminary, institute, mission, you have scriptures that you have to memorize as part of scripture mastery. And the application is just not there when you're a little kid going on your mission. you haven't really had enough life to have the experience necessary to make you wise. And so the church replaces wisdom with memorization of what they want you to regurgitate. And as a result, my brother was excellent at it. And so he decided to branch out of the safety net of the church after graduating valedictorian at BYU to the University of Michigan, where we had lived. And where I believe the school shooting was also there too, wasn't it? Was that the same school? And so, I could, I'm able to tie those together because my brother went to the University of Michigan. It's public knowledge. Again, he's reported it himself on the public domain. So that's not an issue that he should have problems with. Sorry, Todd. And he had done his thesis paper on the city of Ephraim here in Utah. And so he went to Ephraim, lived there for a year, doing his research paper on sociology of Ephraim. And when he finished, turned in his thesis work, and had to go before the board for his review for his PhD, they said, what the hell is this? You didn't adhere to any of the lessons that you should have been taught had BYU taught proper sociology. And we can't allow your thesis, let alone give you your PhD. He's valedictorian. He's memorization smart. No, he's dumber than a mule. He doesn't know how to apply the information to the city of Ephraim, as an example. And so he cried to his mom, our mom, and yes, she is dead. The video thumbnail, he didn't bother to tell me. I had to find out from searching on the internet through the obituaries. And my mom said, pull the religion card. Nothing says intelligence like extorting people to do your will according to your religious beliefs. And they had to cave. And so, as I also have done the video, as my brother posts on LinkedIn when I did that video about him on LinkedIn, I'm surprised he hasn't found that one yet. He only copies other people's work. He just regurgitates it and puts it in his own words, I guess, but I haven't read any of it. I just know he's messing with my lane with philosophers. And so I know very well he does not know the information he is spewing on his papers. But it was a video about his resume. He has a long listing of published papers, all of which are crap. He's got a PhD, he's valedictorian smart, and yet all his papers are crap, worthless. You can go to the original person who did the original paper on the work, and I would recommend those. And so, in contrast, me, I had an experience in 5th grade where it wasn't Sampika, it was the other woman. Sampika was 4th grade. But regardless of what her name was, she assigned the class to do a report on a particular state in the Union. And there's 50 states, there's less than 50 kids in the class, and so she was able to say, you can't pick California, you have to pick one of the other states to do a report on. And so as other classmates were having to fight to who gets New York or other popular states, I said Idaho, because that's where my grandparents, Goodsell, are from. And I've been up there to visit my grandpa, and so yeah, it's an awesome place, good memories. And I've done the videos about how my grandpa's house survived the Teton Dam flood. And so I was all in on this assignment. It was exciting. We even did a little 3-dimensional geographical thing of Idaho, and I did the report. And I thought I was doing it according to the structure that was given, but I guess I didn't put them in the right order on the paper. And because despite all the work and hours that I put into it, and even my mom saw that I was working on it, because I didn't put them in the right order on the paper, the teacher just automatically put F. I didn't follow instructions. So despite the information, it failed. And it devastated me as a little kid in 5th grade. My first F. I was an A student up until that point. And then I was even the winner of the math bee in 2nd grade. And so my mom, knowing how much work I put into it, and finding out that I got an F, she and my dad went to argue, and I could hear them. I was sitting outside of the classroom, and I could hear them yelling at the teacher. And in the end, I saw on the paper that she had tried to compromise with a D and then a C minus. And my parents were still fighting on this issue. It does seem weird that the whole assignment wasn't about the report, but was about whether the kids are able to put the report in the proper order. That would have been nice to have known up front. But I ended up with a C on the report. But the damage had already been done. I no longer cared about school. And so grades in other classes started to slip thereafter as I rise up into the ranks of grades at school. And despite that, I still graduated with honors in high school. And so I didn't care anymore. And I graduated with honors without going into AP classes, advanced placement classes. I had no interest. What's the point? If I do all this memorization and do all the hard work on reports and stuff, and then I just fail, what's the point? And so yeah, I didn't really care about school, and I did my own thing from there on out. And had gone on to Riggs College, and again, I didn't care. I was just getting away from my family, and I'm looking at his first email that we're about to get to here, and so went on my mission, came back to Rick's, passed on Leanne Murdoch as I'd done the videos for, which may have been on TWG, but then went on to settle for Stephanie, who took me to Canada, went to the University of Lethbridge. And my mission had caused me to focus on learning all I could about the church. And it was just a scriptural thing. I was able to take the class on church history, and my parents, of course, paying for it, and paid for the history of the church volumes. And but I dropped out of the class because I was taking too many credits, that it was overwhelming me. And so I at least had the references, because I was smart enough to know the teachers only get up and regurgitate what's in the textbooks, and then we're supposed to regurgitate what's on the textbooks on the tests. So there's no need for class, there's no need for the teacher, we just need the textbooks. And and so I was fine with that, but I never really did get into studying about the church history. I was focused on scriptures, learning about the religion and the interpretation that Mormons have on the Bible. And then went up to the University of Lethbridge, was taking the scientific scripture study. There wasn't really no major for it. They were just classes by Thomas Robinson. And I've talked about how he wanted me to do the CD-ROM, make the CD-ROM for his revised Greek dictionary that you can still get on Amazon. Somebody else had done the work. I had graduated at that point. It was the final class that I was taking to graduate and head here to Utah to get dumped off by Stephanie and abandoned. Yeah, I was learning all about the documentary hypothesis, which is all bunk. It's crap, dear God. But nonetheless, that's what I was learning, was the scientific study of the Bible. And learning about Constantine's first creed of Christianity, and about anthropology of the ancient Middle East. That was my introduction into the anthropology, because it was science-based education, not Mormon biased, you must learn it the way we tell you to learn it education. And so the guidance counselor there at the school called me in and said, "We noticed you don't have a major." Yeah, what's the point? I'm just here to get an education, and I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to study what I want to study. And also I was taking philosophy of science courses, which coincides with the science-based Bible study courses, because I'm learning theory development and logical argument with those classes to help with my research into anthropology in the ancient Middle East. And so she, not knowing any of this stuff, gave me a double bachelor's with a minor in ancient languages, which was technically classical mixed with biblical Hebrew. She had one of the geology professors who had been to Harvard University and had taken Hebrew under Thomas O. Lambden, whose lesson manual is known worldwide. Even though there's others that are starting to become more popular now. But you can still find that book on Amazon. And she had him do one class just for me for Biblical Hebrew. And that was awesome, because I had found by perusing the Joseph Smith history, which I had found from a book that I was given as a birthday gift from Stephanie, The Teachings of Joseph Smith, and found the King Follett Discourse about him saying that the Hebrew text of the Bible is translated incorrectly and gives a partial translation of the first verse. That's it, that's all. And then there's another reference to how Elohim, when Lucifer is using gods, Elohim, how it's supposed to be translated as gods, and that Elohim should be plural all the way through. And if you do not understand other languages and how grammatical termination affects the translation of texts, then you really don't know what Joseph Smith is talking about and the changes that he's saying needs to be done. And so, of course, everybody says, no, Joseph Smith is wrong, he doesn't understand, it's a plural majesty, blah, 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 blah. No. See, this is where learning how to learn, which was my education, pays off, rather than just regurgitating the misinformation that other people spew out and become popular and get put in textbooks. And it shouldn't be the case for scientific information, but unfortunately, as I've come to learn, dear God, I'm the one who had to just utterly destroy William Foxwell Albright's theory of Paleo-Hebrew. It was just a disaster. Why is that guy popular? Why is he the source for Paleo-Hebrew origins? This guy is stupid. Acronym theory? Are you kidding me? And that was the cause of Sir Alan Gardner, who recommended that to him, to employ that theory in his research. No, that's not how you do scientific research. You don't bias your research. So frustrating. But yeah, it paved the way for me to just go right in, and I'm now the decipherer, known worldwide now, for decipherment of Paleo-Hebrew, the origin of the alphabet by which we all speak on earth today. Only Turkey has the prior counter language that has a different structure to it. But yeah, and then that led me to deciphering and rendering translations for the characters that are not listed in Sir Alan Gardner's sign list, as well as Budge's sign list, and other people's sign lists. For example, facsimile number 2, you have larger hieroglyphic characters, and then you have linear text characters. When you see people render translations on Wikipedia they only translate the text, okay? And so facsimile number 1, nobody renders a translation of that because they don't think that it needs to be translated, because none of those signs are, well, for the most part, there's the plant altar has those signs, but they don't consider them translatable. And so what I've done is identified that, yes, those 2 need to be added to the sign list, and those 2 are translatable. And that's my contribution to Egyptology. And again, I'm known worldwide, thanks to academia and .edu and Amazon. And so with that knowledge, I was then able to go into the Bible and completely and utterly destroy once and for all the documentary hypothesis. As I found out, yes, Joseph Smith is a legitimate translator. He did make an error on facsimile 3. But for the most part, his translation method is accurate. And so, yes, when I do videos for you, you are getting exclusive information from the foremost scholar in the field. And you don't care. You'd rather listen to somebody answer questions on Jeopardy. And so, yeah, a big difference in education, isn't it? And so that's the contrast between my brother and I. And so let's go over, because I haven't read them yet. I've got the first one up ready to read. He says, please remove your videos about me, because YouTube told him, no, there's no privacy violation. So sorry, Todd, I'm not going to remove them. And so he says, hi, Travis. It's all formal. He's memorized how to write letters, and he's still following it to this day. He hasn't caught on to the new texting thing. LOL, LMAO, whatever. I saw your YouTube channel that you have recently moved to a place that you find more satisfactory. I hope it works out for you. So he's stalking me. Unfortunately, I guess he has seen the latest videos, so he's following me recently, and that's because he found the other 2 videos, and so YouTube is now flooding him with my videos. He says, I have a request. A couple of your videos are about me. Yeah, because you're a public figure, and the news is covering issues in which your job as a public figure in that job are involved. Would you please delete them? No. Thank you. Sincerely, Todd. Nope. And so I'm not responding. I will not acknowledge him. Just like my mom, when she found my email and was emailing me. I still have yet to find my mom's latest mail. I'm getting that today because she died. And September's letter to me, I think I got September's letter in the mail, and I never opened it. And then October comes, and November, and my mom never wrote. That's strange. And so I was searching in the obituaries ever since then, when I suspected something was off. And sure enough, I found out that she had died and nobody in the family wanted to tell me about it. So I missed the funeral and all that stuff. And I did the video, and YouTube said, you can't use that song for your mom's funeral song. It was just big old scandal. Preying upon me on my mother's death. But yeah, here's interesting. He's linked. Okay, so he saw the Mormons again failed to protect LDS Church from Travis being Goodsell. I just posted that yesterday. So my brother is, for the first time, coming face to face with an expert in the field, who's the foremost expert in the field. Against him who has been indoctrinated by the church to memorize what they've told him to learn. Oh, this just expanded into an awesome video, guys. and so he says on his other video, that was an hour afterward, on your most recent videos. Hi again. I saw the videos that you posted today. I thought I'd share a couple of things. Really? Do I conflict with your memorization ability? First, I only learned today how I can send you emails at this address. What? Assuming that you are going to see these emails. Before today, I wasn't able to contact you. That includes when Mom died. He saw that one. I had been told you no longer lived where you lived in 2019. God. But I could not find anyone who knew where you were. You're in the membership department. It's your job to hunt down Mormons who have abandoned the church. You showed up at my door. Oh dear God. Do you see this? My brother is in the membership department of the church. He has my membership record. It has my address. He knew where I was. He's making excuses for his inability to go beyond learning how to learn. He's just memorizing his job. That's how he's doing it. That's why his department got hacked. That's why he's losing membership. He doesn't know his job. He just memorizes. He was told what to do, and he does it literally. And he has no comprehension of how to do the job. And in contrast, on my mission in the Bronx, as I was finishing up, Sean McFarland and I were assigned to fix the membership records in the Bronx branch. We were hoping that we could identify how many elders were in the branch to determine whether the branch should be made into a ward, or if we needed to get the missionaries to seek out more men so that we can turn it into a ward. And so in 1 month, we did what a couple missionaries had failed to do for years and made a bigger mess of it, and produced a membership record for the Bronx branch, for which they then began doing home teaching and visiting teaching. You know, like, what's those? Because Nelson's done away with them. It's now ministering, which means screw your neighbor. Neighbor who? But yeah, they were then able to organize the Relief Society and organize the priesthood for those who they knew were attending. And so after I had left, the consequences of our efforts resulted in the Bronx branch splitting into 2 branches, and then eventually the New York mission was split in half to north and south. And so that was the consequences of my work in the mission field with my form of education, all because Fiskin, that's her name, Mrs. Fiskin in 5th grade, who failed me on my report on Idaho. And, you know, I don't care anymore. And if I can remember, that'll be the video song at the bottom of, or in the description below. I don't care anymore. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, he doesn't know how to use email. Can't find me when it's his job to be able to find me. Dear God. No, Todd. No, Zod. I see that you are still hurting. Hurting? What the bleep? That you did not get the news directly. I'm not hurting. My mom threw me down the river. To hell with her. And I think I can understand that. See, he's been brainwashed by psychology. I can see psychology here. He's trying to empathize. Oh, you're hurting. I can understand. Get the hell out of here with this crap. And if you've followed me, you know how psychology is anti-science, as I'm full on scientific learning. And I've been warning you of the dangers of people who are anti-science. Religion is anti-science, so is psychology. And so the bullying tactics are utilized by those who are anti-science. Psychology uses bullying tactics. This is what he's doing to me. He's bullying me. And it's in the Book of Mormon even. Lucifer, he uses flattery, pacification, deception, and emotional triggers. It's all right there in the Book of Mormon, guys. And yet, everything that I just went over with you is exactly how our society in this nation, let alone in the church, is run by. Lucifer's plan of happiness. And here my brother is fully embraced in it because he doesn't have a clue. He's worshiping Lucifer's plan of happiness and doesn't make the connection. But for my part, I had no way of reaching you that I knew of. So he's focused on Mom. You deal with Mom. I want nothing to do with Mom. Second, I saw this video. Heads are gonna roll. And that actually is the thumbnail that I was supposed to use for the first video that I made while I was in here, but had no internet yet. And I was able to get the other two that I had in backlog out yesterday. But as too much time has gone by and updated information sort of nullified that first video, I decided to use the thumbnail picture instead for the Mormons again fail to protect LDS Church from Travis Wayne Goodsell. See, on the surface, if you're a Mormon, you're going, oh, Travis is evil, he's mean. But when you understand that the church is not Joseph's church, that they're the meanies, they're the bad guys, they're the villains, then you begin to understand how I'm using my titles with you guys. I'm using the psychological effect on you to make me the bad guy, but in reality, I'm the good guy. I'm the savior. Again, think Jewish learning, not Christian learning. But, you know, psychologists don't want you to do that. That you still think that I work in membership records. I do not. You lost your job? You got fired? I do not, and I never have. No, your LinkedIn page says you did. Wonder who's watching now. Come on, we're already at 45 minutes. But as long as the YouTube employee is not working this morning after last night's debacle. Alright, so search Todd Goodsell. There he is, researcher. How do we get rid of this? I don't want this. I'll have to go full screen, I guess. Alright, experience. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, University of Utah, and 6 more. Posts. What? Vanessa Lovelace, she's mine. What is that on Todd's for? View full profile. That's why. So there's the University of Michigan. Oh my God. Melissa. No, I do not want to explore new job opportunities. But hounding me for that. Alright. And so there it is. He's a researcher at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. About sociologist with expertise, with memorization skills in the culture of everyday life, family, and community. See, sociology is a portion of anthropology, which is the bigger picture. See, he doesn't even understand that. He's been told to believe that sociology is the big umbrella under which anthropology would be a part of. And I've taken sociology of religion, and so I know all about psychology, or not psychology, sociology as well. And I did ace that class, by the way. I've also taken D. Michael Quinn's Sociology of Mormonism as well. I am proficient in a range of qualitative research methods. Oh my God, why are you lying? Including in-depth interviewing? Ooh. I learned interviewing by working at Blockbuster Video. There are certain things that they wanted us to look for in an interview, and oh, interesting. It actually is effective. But dear God, ethnography, narrative interviewing, narrative analysis, focus groups. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, Todd. No, Todd. None of this is legitimate in actual scientific research. This is what psychologists do. And it's all a fraud. It's all a sham. And it's purposely designed to control other people's and to put them into self-fulfilling prophecies, of which they do the self-fulfilling. And that's what bullies do. They tell you repetitively who you are, and they want to break you into accepting what they bully you to be. And then once they've broken you, they then control your life. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your actions are all controlled by them. Even if they're not even in your life anymore, they've already done the damage to you. They broke you. You are now a zombie slave to their bullying. And that's what we see in our society, is the effects of psychologists who were put in our grade schools, and they're untouchable because the law says there's doctor-client confidentiality. And so the parents don't understand why their kid all of a sudden is this little zombie kid coming up with all these weird things that the parents are now supposed to accept them for who they are, when it's just ridiculous. It's because of the psychologists who have done that to you. And I'm not getting into the issue, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about, because it's all over the news every single day. There is science, and then there is fraud. Malicious, harmful fraud that is being perpetuated upon the American people. And the church uses that too against Mormons. And so, and so he says that he is a researcher from 2014 to the present. I conduct social research, designing research, gathering data, analyzing findings, and providing results and recommendations to decision makers. Yeah, he's the reason why the membership numbers have dropped, because he's giving them bad information, faulty information. affiliate faculty, 2017 to the present at the University of Utah. He serves on dissertation committees, and he teaches classes as needed. And so, no, they don't want him. He fills in when there's a test. Adjunct instructor for sociology, Utah Valley University, 2016 to January to April, 1 semester. So, do you see what I'm talking about? He can't teach. He was made an adjunct instructor, and it only lasted for 1 semester, and then they booted him out. So yeah, April 2016. Yeah, okay, he was already a researcher for the church in 2014. And so he was able to become an affiliate faculty member at the University of Utah the next year. Took him a whole year to get another job. Wow. Ouch. Visiting assistant professor, University of Utah, 2013, 2014. And so yeah, he went back to the university where they had him before. And then chair qualitative family research network. And so yes, I do need to make an apology and a correction. He is correct. He has not worked in the membership records department, but he's telling the church leaders lies about Mormonism. Because he says, I conduct social research on Mormons, designing research, gathering data, analyzing findings, and providing results and recommendations to decision makers. And since that time, in 2014, when he started, church membership has been... He has no clue why Mormon membership is dropping. And so this becomes an even bigger issue than being in the membership department, not knowing how to find me. So yes, I do need to make a correction. I was wrong. My brother's responsible for the loss of membership, though, because he's feeding the church the wrong information. The prophets are lying or having the wrong information. He's leading the church astray. So, oh man. Yeah, okay. Greater Salt Lake area, please. And so my channel is about why membership has fallen. I've done a better job than my brother, and I'm not even in the job. I don't get paid for it. I do it for free and give you more accurate information. Dear God. So, yeah, he's not in the membership records department, but he's the cause of the fallen membership numbers because he is doing the research, providing the information to the leaders of the church. He's the... Can I find that? This video is already an hour long, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Wow. Let me check my files for that. He's the one responsible for that, isn't he? Oh. And ex-Mormons, if you're watching, who've done videos on... You've done videos on this. It's the little bubble thing of left and right, which is all psychology-based, which is a fraud. And, wow. Oh, is he responsible for that? Is that him? Is that his work? Because I think it was another guy that presented it to the apostles, but it would have been my brother's research for which that would have come from. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. We've got late breaking news. What would it be titled under? Would it be chart? Come on. So it's not chart? Or are you just slow? hurricane, volcano, apostasy. No. Problems. Let me go online, see if I can find it that way. So a chart of problems in LDS Church came up with the leadership administration chart. Hilarious. There it is. Issues and ideas leading people away from the gospel. This would have been my brother. Because this would have been... This doesn't... See, Mormon Stories covered it. Because he's in it. How the LDS Quorum 12. Yeah, this was a presentation by who he reports to, given to the apostles. And so, yeah, this is how my brother thinks. He's categorized them just like a psychologist does into the left brain and right brain. Okay, we gotta bring this up on the screen here. Because I can't find how it was labeled on my thing. Just want the picture. Picture. God, you don't even make it available to blow up. Alright. And so he's got far left, far right, issues and ideas leading people away from the gospel. That's a misleading statement. There's a difference between the church and the gospel. Right, Elder Pullman? 1986 October conference. Elder Pullman gets up at the pulpit of conference, gives his talk on how the church and the gospel are different. The church afterward said, Elder Pullman, we're going to need you to redo your talk, and we're going to record you during the week and then present it differently in the conference report and the ensign and so forth. And the Salt Lake Tribune had caught on to this and reported it as the big scandal that Elder Pullman's doctrine was wrong and the church had him change it. The church and the gospel are one and the same. No, 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 no. And so, yeah, that's big. You can see the videos on YouTube. Some people did some excellent jobs showing the contrast of his original versus his revised version with a different background. And because I exposed it, I had found that the church had removed it from their listing on their webpage. It's like he never gave the talk at all. And so he's got pornography in the middle. See, again, my brother is unaware of the psychologist who was excommunicated by the church and fired from her job working for the church as a psychologist in Colorado, I think it is. And I've got an idea for the title of the video now. Todd, leading people away from the LDS gospel. And she was saying that pornography is not addictive, which is surprising from a psychologist, because that's what they're all about. is getting more clients. And that was one of their pushes, is that pornography is addictive. Come in and talk with us about it. We'll help you with your problem. Again, they're bullying people. Oh, you're looking at images of idols? You've got a problem, and we need to help you with it. You're mentally ill. See, they're bullying you. They're name-calling you. And they're wanting you to pay them money to do what? They're not helping you. They're trying to break you into accepting that pornography is addictive. And it's not. Again, I did the video not too long ago, back in my incarceration at the shelter, going over the statistics of the biological nature of men and women in regards to abortion. That's what I was trying to point out in that video, is that that whole pro-choice, pro-life argument is a false dichotomy. And it's leading people away from loving each other. Oh, wow, how did I know how to apply what I've learned? And so, yeah, it just, Sabbath violation is in the middle, Todd? Seriously? So, yeah, my brother's dumb. Huh. So I need to get this picture. I don't know what it was labeled. Area Business Weekends, page 5, but it's saying it's a web file. So let me see if I can find it by leading people away from the gospel. I did me leading Mormons away from LDS church threat. That's not gospel. There's one on that one. Let's see if it's in there. Otherwise I'll have to get another copy and then label it properly so I can find it. There it is. Great, I got it. Okay. Ah. Lonely Struggle of the Gay Man. Case in point. Bill Mayer did an episode also that I covered in a video on that subject. And then he did another episode where he reviewed that he had covered that. So, oh, this is what it is. Ah, I see. My LinkedIn profile does not state that I do. It states that I work in research. That is in a different department. I have nothing to do with managing membership records, but you're managing the membership for the prophets. You tried to explain to them why members are leaving. And I've been doing that instead. Church needs to be listening to me. Oh wait, they are. They're not agreeing with me. You are making false statements associating me with membership records. That's it? That's your main issue? Please delete material making false statements. That's a big difference from privacy issues. So, Todd, you should have known that even as a memorizer. And so, yes, I have made a public apology and have corrected the information publicly. And then had more research, more references to a different form of video. So, thank you, Todd. Sincerely, Travis. So, yay. Interesting. Alright, so I gotta get rid of Ancestry somehow. I don't know what to do on that. Alrighty, I think we're pretty much done.